Salim Sulaiman and Grammy winner. There's only one Grammy winner in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Hrishi K. Most important question in this pandemic that we should all ask each other: is the family and you safe and healthy, Salim?
I think we should be done with that question now, Rishi. It's been 6 months now, and I'm kind of like getting tired of that question. Is everyone okay? Although it's very polite, but I think somewhere down the line we have to come to terms with the fact that now it's it's something that we got to live with all our lives till we find a vaccine, and knowing the fatality rate is so low. Um I know, and it's contagious and stuff like that, that we should be careful, but kind of have that spirit of now let's see what happens. I mean, just be a little fearless, because it's, I think, the fear that is killing people more.
Interesting point. Sulaiman, you agree with him? Just get on with the business. I mean, with life in particular.
I do agree to an extent that, listen, we've been working, we've been making music for ever since the lockdown happened. So it's not like work stopped for us. And if you go out now on the streets, you see people who are being fearless and going out and doing their stuff. Right? The roads are full of traffic again. We've got everything happening. So at some point you have to be fearless, but at the other end also you have to look at, if you have family which has comorbidities, if you have asthma, then you stay at home. You don't want to take that risk of going out. But I'm sure that's maybe 10% or 5% of our community that has comorbidities. But the other people are stepping out, and I'm applauding them for being able to have the guts to step out and do what they have to do, because life has to go on. We can't stop our life completely, right?
Ricky, has output gone up as a musician composer, being closeted at home in the studio? Have you churned out more stuff?
I would say output has gone up, but it's gone up in different ways because, of course, during this entire pandemic, I've had more than 30 concerts cancelled in over 6 countries, and so that's been a complete shame. But at the same time, I've been creating a lot of music within the studio, and also I've been quite fearful of this pandemic, so I've been staying at home. But thanks to Salim Sulaiman, because of this particular song that we're releasing today, I was forced to travel to Mumbai, and then that is when I became fearless, because I saw the amount of precautions that we can actually take, and and that has encouraged me to actually live my life a little better right now during the pandemic. So thanks to Salim Sulaiman, now I'm able to go back to at least a little bit to how things used to be. But at the same time, when it comes to family, I've got a mother who is 75 years old. I've got a father who's 77 years old. So I have to be I have to be sort of fearful about them. So that's why, when I'm trying to be fearless, I sort of isolate myself from them, so that I can protect them. But beyond that, I think it's very important for us to start understanding that, that life needs to go on, because we have to live with this pandemic. We have to live with Corona.
Normally, Salim Sulaiman released only music, and now Salim has released your fear. I've been following the Salim Sulaiman. I subscribe to the YouTube page. There's been some phenomenal action on the merchant records front. I mean, big ups to you brothers for doing the kind of stuff that you do. We will come to talking about what you did with Tapas and with Vijay Prakash. As a father of 2 daughters, it just melted my heart. And of course, what you've done with Junita and Ash King. But how did this collaboration start? Did Ricky get in touch with you guys, or you guys get in touch with him? Were you yearning to work together for the longest time? Talk me through that, Salim.
So I'll be honest. When I heard about an Indian winning a Grammy award, when I was very proud. I was like, wow, it's so beautiful to have somebody. And I looked up this person. Who's this person? Ricky Cage. Okay, so he does belong. He is from India. He's from Bangalore, but he lives outside most of the time. And then he's also, so I did check him out, and I read up about him. But of course we were, and I was like, maybe our paths will cross one day. And then it so happened that during this pandemic, he was coming out with an album. and which was going to release on World Environment Day. And I was called to sing a song on the album, and I was quite happy. And and Ricky and me, we never spoke, but I learned that from other people that he's a wonderful person. And one day I see his email on my inbox saying that, hey, I'd love to work with you, blah blah blah, and I'd love to do something with Merchant Records. And I'm like, I wrote him a mail. We got on a call, and he sent me a track, and the track was called Leh, which basically Ricky made for in Leh Ladakh, and it was a wonderful, beautiful track. And it was it was an instrumental track with some vocals on it. And I kind of really liked the spirit and the composition of the song, but I felt like maybe it needs a vocal melody and like a proper structure of a song. And Ricky was like, let's go for a song. I want you guys to come up with a melody with a song. And Sulaiman and me, I bounced it off Sulaiman, and he also loved the spirit of the song. We really loved the video also of Leh. And I was like, I told Ricky that, look, although it's a great song as an instrumental, we must do something with with the vocal energy and stuff. And he was like, yeah, let's just completely change it. You can do whatever. And there was it's a beautiful spirit between us. There's a great friendship, musicianship between us. And I felt a connect, and I knew that it's going to happen. This was literally a month ago, Rishi. And now we have a song called Man Mein Aman, which is partly composed by Hrishi K and partly by Salim Sulaiman. And it's a great combo of them. When I'll run you with the melody, and I'll tell you which part was composed by us and which part was Ricky. So it just felt like a glove, like that fit in so well, and we both really gelled, and it's amazing collaboration. And I think this is just the beginning.
Beautiful. For all of you who are watching or listening, we are speaking on the morning of Gandhi Jayanti, the 2nd of October. Happy Gandhi Jayanti to all of you who listen. The father of our nation stood for peace and spirituality, and that's what this track is all about. If you're catching it after, then the track is already out. All you have to do is go to the Salim Sulaiman YouTube page, and you will find Man Mein Aman, the two brothers and Ricky looking dapper in their sherwanis and belting out this particular track. So go check it out. Please share it on all social media and make sure that this lovely message goes out. So Sulaiman, I mean, these are trying times for our country. There's a lot of, we can all see what's happening in media at large. Everybody's in the thick of it. We performing artists are in the thick of it. There's a lot of friction in this and that. Did you feel this was the most important, more important than ever before, for this message to go out, of the message of Man Mein Aman?
It really is, actually, because the kind of situations we're going through, it almost feels like, besides the pandemic being the center of activity and the center of the chaos, there's a much, much wider spread of the chaos in the political system, in the way things are being handled. There's so many different things that are going on simultaneously. And all we need is peace at this moment. We need that little bit of shanti in our minds and in our hearts to be able to cope with what is going on. There is a downturn in the economy. We are probably headed towards a recession. So many different things going on, in which we don't need other, external activities to heighten the chaos around us. So a song like this hopefully comes as a reminder that, listen, everything is within you. You just need to bring out the peace. Just stay calm, bring out what peace you have within, and the knowledge that you have. It's all within you. You just need to implement it in your right space.
I love I have lucky, a few of us got a preview of the track, the audio of it. And I just love the lyrics, Ricky. I believe this is IP Singh from Faridkot. Would you just tell me a little bit about the writing of it? Yeah.
Of course, IP Singh has been a long-time collaborator of mine because most of my concerts happen outside of India, and I wanted to start doing more and more concerts in India, and I needed a singer to actually to front our band, because I don't sing, so I needed somebody to front our band. And somebody suggested IP Singh. Actually, my sound engineer suggested IP Singh, and I met him. Instantly, we bonded, and we've done between 40 or 60 concerts in more than about 10 countries now. And so initially, he was supposed to be only for our concerts in India. But then, I started realizing that people are loving him outside of India too, because he gets everybody to dance, and, and his look, and, and the energy that he brings about on stage was just amazing. So when Salim Sulaiman and I were collaborating on this track, which I'm super, super grateful to have this collaboration with Salim Sulaiman. Salim did not tell you a whole lot of things that, that I'm a huge, huge fan of Salim Sulaiman. From the time I first listened to, the Krish soundtrack that they did, where they first ever Hindi movie, in my opinion, which actually did a soundtrack with a complete Philharmonic orchestra. And also, every single arrangement of theirs has always been super unique and amazing, and and it really captured my imagination. And in fact, 15 years ago, about 14 or 15 years ago, I had actually visited Salim Sulaiman's studio once, and I actually met them. And but I used to look very different during those days, and I completely fanboy crushed on the studio and and on them. But of course, they don't remember it. But I remember that incident so vividly. And when I recently went to the studio, I could actually, it was almost like it was yesterday that I had come to the studio, previously. So it was quite an amazing thing.
Let me interrupt. Is this the underground studio in June?
Yeah, the underground studio, correct.
That really is a cosmic space, isn't it? I remember going there once to voice an ad film, and they would remember. And Salim had given me a wonderful tour of the place, and I was like, whoa, you enter this place, there's some pure energy there,
No, it's a space for creativity. It's a beautiful space for creativity. And so then we were discussing about lyrics, and I immediately thought IP Singh, because ever since he started working with me, he's been writing all of my lyrics in Hindi. And IP Singh and I sat for about 1.5 or 2 days, so it was pretty quick. And we came up with these lyrics, and there were some things that I was not happy with, some things that I was really happy with. And then, of course, Salim sat with IP Singh, and he took it to a whole new level. Salim, because Salim really understands, how to create focus on certain words, how not to create focus on certain words, which words need to be repeated, which words need to go into the heart of things. So when Salim Sulaiman actually worked with IP Singh, I feel that, they brought out the best of IP Singh, and they really took the song to a whole new level.
That's very beautifully explained. Sulaiman gave the larger context of this, Salim, but I'd like you to just spend a little more time on it, on the fact that, Gandhi Jayanti is Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, but also something that he stood for. There were two things that he stood for. One was non-violence and the other was secularism. I mean, the fact that when there was communal strife, he'd actually gone and stayed in a Muslim's house in Calcutta, and he fasted. At the same time, for his Hindu brethren, he would sing the bhajan, which was Vaishnav Janato. Yes. That spirit of secularism, I think it resonates with you, because I remember you telling me once that you're very deeply into Sufism, and your music does reflect that. Salim.
First of all, I'm a huge follower of Mahatma Gandhi ji. The whole ideologies of ahimsa, of Swaraj, of having no discrimination, like you said, secularism, no discrimination against any caste or religion, and that is something that I can see, is such a huge need of the hour. When Ricky, when we started working on the track, I said that, Ricky, that this is, and because Ricky also has a lot of love for Bapu, for Gandhiji, and he also, of course, has a huge, he stands for a lot of causes, for the environment, for refugees, for so many different things in this world, the problems in this world. I felt like it would be very, very important for us to do a song which has some message, some meaning. And we see musicians getting a little bit, I'm going a little off topic, Rishi, but it's very important. I can see musicians kind of going towards this whole, kind of influencer trends, creating music which does not have a purpose and is just kind of going with numbers. And I know that, somewhere down the line, it's something inside kills them, that they are not really being true to their art. And I've always had that very revolutionary sort of vibe in when you create music, it has to be something really deep, something, it has to have a you can do a fun song, of course, once in a while, but every once in a while, it's good to internalize your feelings, what the world is going through, and reflect upon your feelings and your thoughts and bring it in your music, because your listeners need that power, need that extra, be it devotional music, be music with some message. And when we created Man Mein Aman, it was, honestly, IP wrote it. We had decided that we're going to release it on 2nd of October. So when he wrote the first line, um, चाहत है सुकून की तो मन में अमन रखना, I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Let's bring Man Mein Aman as many times as we can. And then the third line was राहत है दूर भी तो something. I said, like, no, let's bring Man Mein Aman again. And one beautiful thought, Hrishi, which Gandhi ji always had, that be the change that you want to see in this world. Be the change that you want to see in this world. And that IP interpreted in such a beautiful way, where he wrote, बदलाव जो चाहे तू वो खुद ही तू बनना, मन में अमन रखना. And I mean, it just touched me. It really gave me goosebumps the way he wrote this. A lot of beautiful thoughts, where Rumi's thought that the entire universe lies inside you only if you reflect upon it, is also Hazrat Ali's thought that the entire universe lies inside you only if you seek for it, if you look for it. Same thing. IP brought it in a beautiful way, that दुनिया में जो ढूंढे है उसके अंदर ही ठिकाने, बदलाव जो चाहे तो वो खुद ही तो बनना, मन में अमन रखना. So really well put. And I was like, this song now has purpose. This song has a very beautiful message. We keep waiting for, even the music industry, everybody wants to know what the next change is. I mean, I'm saying be the change. Try to bring out, take that risk, and don't wait for the change, be the change. And it's exactly what Gandhiji, always taught everyone. That is one of his most famous quote.
I'm already loving this interview because, from Band Baja Barat to now, over the years, I've lost count of the number of times that I've interviewed you guys. And this is the first time we haven't talked for a second about films. No disrespect to films. I mean, our bread and butter for a lot of us comes from there. But it's just beautiful to not go into that space at all. And I think I'm not going to. So let's continue, just let's now go back to Merchant Records. There's a lot of stuff happening on that front. I'm just talking about the post-Independence Day releases, more recent ones. Sulaiman, like I said, I just loved Jogi Re, the Daughter's Day release, and also Jab Tum Paas Ho with Ash and with Junita. So the purpose for Merchant Records and these last couple of releases, talk me through that, Sulaiman.
So the idea behind Merchant Records is to be able to give a platform to people who have great songs with nowhere to go. Every single record label right now is looking for super hit songs, right? You give me a super hit song, give me an item number, give me a dance track, give me a Punjabi song, give me a, that's the need. That's what they are asking for. Everybody wants, okay, yaar, I want a song that can go to 60 million hits on YouTube. Doesn't matter that you've put in 30 million views on your own to make it go to 60 million. So we don't want to do that. We want to be a record label that has platform for a variety of artists, a variety of genres of music, something that nobody else will ever do. And we want to be true to the music. The most important thing is to be true to your music and to your art. And when we heard Tapas and Vijay Prakash's song, Salim and me, he had sent the song to Salim, and Salim played it to me. He sent it to me. I found it so beautiful, and it made me smile. That song makes you smile. It makes you feel happy. It's got that very bouncy kind of groove, and the whole song is very, nicely put together.
It's not a 60 million. It's not a 60 million song, though, Cinema.
It's not a 60 million soundtrack. Yeah.
But it's good music.
It's not.
It's good music.
But
lovely.
It's lovely. That's the whole idea behind this was, Salim and me have heard a lot of music, so we can be curators at some point. for the content that goes into our into merchant records, and that's how it's going to be. Salim and me are constantly talking about getting new artists, artists who have the potential to shine. All they need is a little bit of love, a little bit of push, and it's working. Even Jab Tum Paas Ho is our composition, but the way Jonita and Ash have taken it to the next level, and we put in our heart and soul behind every single release that we're doing. It's not, we're not going half-hearted on any project. Every song has us sitting in an edit suite trying to work things out, or sitting till 5 in the morning trying to make stuff okay. So not being our releases, these are all songs that we put we put our love and energy into. And that's what it's all about. Merchant Records is all about that.
Ricky, I know it's been 4 years and some since you picked up that Grammy, but really, the sounds of Samsara have gone out to the entire world, and you've got so much international recognition. But I'm going to take you back to the fateful day when you got that Grammy. Did you go to LA? Did you hang out there? Just those moments, man, they must have been totally goosebump inducing.
Yeah, of course. The album itself, that is Winds of Samsara. In fact, coincidentally, that album was about Mahatma Gandhi. It was a collaboration between me and a South African flute player. So it was sort of like about the ideals of peace, love, and tolerance by Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela, my father of the nation and his father of the nation. And so basically, the album was a very, very successful album. It was #1 on the Billboard charts in America, and for about 12 weeks, it was the highest played instrumental album on radio in the whole world for that particular year. And but the Grammys always felt like an unattainable dream, that this ho hi nahi sakta hai, And but we won a whole lot of awards. But at the back of our mind, there was this thought that maybe it could happen. And I remember it was December 4th when the nominations were announced, and and I was sleeping because it was nighttime in India. And my phone kept getting these notifications, and I kept waking up, turning it off, waking up, turning it off. And then I looked at the phone and I saw every notification had the word Grammy in it. So immediately I realized that, I've been nominated for a Grammy. And then it's a 2-month waiting period to the actual ceremony where you find out if you won or not. And everybody would ask me, especially the press would constantly ask me that, are you nervous? Are you nervous? And I would say that, I'm not at all nervous, because it had not even sunk in, the magnitude of this particular award. And then on February 12th, when I actually went to America for the ceremony, and when I actually sat at the ceremony, that is when, things went completely crazy, because then it started hitting you as to how real this is, because all these major celebrities and major, Hollywood stars sitting down next to you, and, and you see the magnitude of the Staples Center where it happens. And that is when, I got really, really nervous. But then, of course, when they announced me as the winner, the nervousness went away. And and I went up, gave my acceptance speech, got the award, and, and as they say, the rest is history. But yeah, that was the overall experience of actually winning the Grammy. And I always believe that, because I've always been making music on social messages and social impact, and I believe that the Grammys is a really, really good platform. Winning a trophy is a very good platform to actually doing bigger and better things, and for having a much stronger voice for all the things that you believe in. And that's the reason why after I won the Grammy Award, I decided that I'm going to stop all forms of commercial music. And I'm only going to focus on every single piece of music that I make is only going to be about positive social impact and about environmental consciousness. So that's the journey that I took. That's the only kind of music that I make, and I refuse to make any other kind of music. So lovely. That's basically what I do.
And these days you can sit anywhere and create music, but there was a time when people must have asked you, why haven't you moved to Bombay? Why haven't you moved to Bombay? That's where the action is. Are you still in Bangalore? Are you still in Bangalore?
No, because that's the thing. Because in very early on in my career, I decided that I would not want to be part of the movie industry for various reasons. Because the thing is that I felt that I'm not very good at making music to a brief, whereas there are people who are really good at doing that, and I absolutely admire that. But for me, that was something that I felt that I wouldn't probably be good at. And also I realized early on that that if I'm getting into music, which is my passion, and not being like, a doctor that my father wanted me to be, so then, within music itself, there are many times that people are not making the kind of music that, that they want to make, and I do not want to get into that kind of a situation. Like, it happens with dancers also, it happens with painters, it happens with all sorts of people that, who are in the arts, but within that art form, they're not able to make the art that they really connect themselves with. And I did not want myself to be in that situation. And that's the reason why I decided that I'd rather be very less known for music that I really love making, rather than being extremely well known for music that really does not define me. So that's the thing.
That's a very valid point. For all of you listening and watching, the video is out. Salim Sulaiman's YouTube channel and across social media. Salim, are you also releasing the audio on all the streaming services? Will they be able to catch it on, on Apple Music and Spotify and everything? Super stuff. So
it's out. Our music comes out at midnight, so it's already on. It's just that we release a video a little bit later, so it's friendlier to UK and to us also, because we wake up late.
I didn't want to say that, but he said it.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's all over. My Instagram posts are at like 5 a.m. and like I'm taking a selfie.
It's because they work through the night. The boys work through the night. Yeah, correct. And remember, this is on Gandhi Jayanti, the 2nd of October. So even if you're watching it later, then you know what we're talking about. Okay, I'm a firm believer that if interviews go beyond a certain point, they become boring for the guests. I don't want that to happen to you guys. So I'd like you, Salim, now to play for us and, actually explain to us, what was your contribution, Ricky's contribution, and basically do a lovely, fun tutorial on Aman Mein Aman. If you tape this for us, we'd also be very grateful. Thank you.
All right, let's go. Hit the record button. So it was amazing. When Ricky sent me the track, it was... he had a melody which is really beautiful, which is... So, and this melody, this rag, sort of really, a lot of our songs, like... This raga is very attractive, Hrishi. It always gives me kind of a really nice, nostalgic and emotional sort of a thing. And this melody sort of just got me in. I mean, I was like, wow. And so then I felt, because it's so attractive, I felt it'd be nice to start the song with this melody. Started the song. That kind of felt nice. And then Ricky had a melody which was... And I felt like maybe it would be great to connect with. Kasturi jo mahke, mrig bahke, par wo na jaane, duniya mein jo dhoonde, hai uske andar hi thikane. This is my best part, which is Gandhiji's quote. Badlav jo chahe tu, wo khud hi tu banna. मन में अमन तू रखना. This song really is like something which gave me a lot of happiness, gave me a lot of peace, and of course the words are very reflective of the feeling of the composition, which is Man Mein Aman Rakhna, keep the peace in your heart. And I'm actually really thankful. And each time I sing this song, I remember even while we were shooting the video, we were just, I was singing it constantly. It wasn't like we were lip syncing it. I was singing it constantly, and Sulaiman was singing it as well. Ricky was singing it as well. It has a very deep connect. It's a pure melody, and it's a powerful message.
But doesn't Salim have one of the most beautiful voices in the world? You're muted, Hrishi.
True that, brother. True that. Truer words have not been spoken.
That is
Beautiful.
what
It just transports you to another dimension.
No, true. And, because for me, when we were doing this collaboration with Salim Sulaiman, that was one huge thing that I had that because Salim and Sulaiman kept saying that, we'll get a singer, we'll get another singer to sing it and all of that stuff. And then I insisted that, no, Salim has to sing this, because I'm a huge fan of his voice. And I really, really want him to sing this song, So, really, really amazing voice.
Thank you, and thank you. I mean, it's something that I connect with also. So that's something. Like the rag is very attractive, and some songs like I wear the composer's hat with Sulaiman, and I'm like, okay, let's get a singer, But some songs which I feel like I really deeply feel connected with, and I feel I should give it a shot. I always say we should give it a shot, and then we try it.
Hrishikesh, Salim Sulaiman, thank you for the magic. Lots and lots of love, and to you and your family, stay safe, healthy, and man mein aman.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Hrishi. It's always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you, Sulaiman. That means a lot. Thank you.